The Bedroom Hour with X marks the spot. A very cool band, and they have an EP that came out last May called Themes, and you can check that out on iTunes. And it's a very good EP. It was debuted here on the show, and I did interview their guitarist Rob Payne, who was always a good guy, and the second time he's on the show for that. So be sure to check those guys out. Okay, so next up, I know obviously you've been working on your Halloween blog because obviously that's coming up in about a week from today, actually.
Yes.
And we'll be doing a decent show on that because we'll have a lot of clips and a lot of movies to talk about. So, have you added anything new to the list of like kind of best and worst Halloween movies?
I'm working on it. There's something that came to me last night. For some reason I keep forgetting. I know it was like I was thinking about Shutter Island being on the list, and I kind of talked myself out of it in terms of being scary. But there are going to be like a few surprises. I threw in a few foreign films. One of my favorite directors is Pedro Almodovar from Spain, and there's a movie he did called The Skin. I think it's called The Skin I Live In. If I've got the title wrong, I apologize. And, it's like this really, as foreign films, it's just this really great thriller, and that's kind of like what I was looking for. The things that scare me are things that could really happen. So that's kind of what I was focusing on when I was narrowing down the list.
Well, yeah, and there's not tons, but there are a few out there. I mean, with possibilities. One of them being, I know it's an old one or older one, but The Sixth Sense. I mean, there's, even though people may not believe, there's some realm of possibility around it, even though it might be a little far out there. It could be a bit possible. I mean, like
absolutely.
I'm not a firm believer, but I did something like that. No, it is very possible, and or just the ones based off the real life, like the Amityville Horror, which is very terrible and very graphic.
Yes, which is what the did you see the movie The Conjuring?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were featured in that film, they're the ones who investigated the Amityville Horror, and apparently was doing some research about the legitimacy of the Conjuring haunting that they portrayed in the film, and apparently there are a lot of people who say that the Amityville Horror, they were in on the hoax and were trying to legitimize it by getting involved and saying that they were seeing things, because people take it a lot more seriously than just average Joe saying he saw the haunting and everything.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is like it's one of those things. It's put it plain and simple, it's the unknown, and there's been a lot of good points, like kind of pros and cons against the whole idea behind it. People want to be scared, not frightened to death, but at the same time too, it's being scared once in a while is kind of good for the soul, sort of thing. It's a part of being human, right? And
I totally agree.
And something like that, you kind of want to see it, so then your mind starts playing tricks on you. So what you see is maybe not necessarily real; it might be just literally a figment of your imagination.
It's very interesting you mentioned that, because yesterday my sister showed me. She said, I have something I want to show you, and it was a video that they did a promotional for the recent Carrie remake, and they had it set up so they had actors, and they staged the scene to make it look like a girl had gotten coffee spilled on her, and then she levitates the guy up against the wall, and they showed everyone's expression, and they were very scared, and I told my sister, I said, oh my gosh, if I saw that, I would be so excited that I was actually witnessing it, and that it was real, that I would probably just pass out from excitement.
Well, that's a good point, because it's the same thing where there's all these Halloween like legends, like, and of course they're more or less urban legends, and for the most part they're just twisted a little bit for each state, province, city, what have you, and it's that sort of thing too, like if you walk through this certain graveyard at midnight, you may see like a ghost walking around or something like that, and you want to go just because, even though you might be scared out of your wits, you'd still be like very excited to see it anyways,
Absolutely. There's like this really big part of me that wants it to be, I want to see it, I want to see that it's real, I definitely want to see something happen. And there've been like times where I think everyone's experienced being freaked out, kind of feeling the skin, the hair on your neck stand up.
Well, yeah.
I want to see something. I want to see something like really confirm it, because there is a part of me that wants it to be real.
Absolutely. I mean, how many times, especially, it's the key room in every horror movie is the basement, The dark basement, you flip on the light doesn't work, so using the flashlight, and nothing's down there, but you're still kind of looking around anyway. He's kind of just looking over your shoulder.
Yes.
So it's always interesting, and one thing for me sometimes too is we'll call it 9 to 5 job. I start literally before the crack of dawn, and if I go out in the morning, if I have to walk to the store or something like that, and the path is super dark, there's no lights or anything, so I'll admit I got a flashlight, and I'm kind of looking around too, just making sure nothing's coming out of the bush. So
yes, I know. I'm having at my house, I'm having a freaky thing happen, and I want to call the police. But when I tell people about it, they're thinking, well, you just watch too many horror movies. I'm like, no, because one time it did turn out that it was a creeper. And so I'm feeling like that intuition, the question is always to act or not to act, and how much are movies playing into whether we do or we don't.
Wow. Wow. I was not expecting that. Wow.
And not to get heavy or anything.
No, that's fine. I was expecting that. It turns out it was a creeper. Oh my god.
Yeah, so this time you're always quite, even though I had something confirmed, I'm always having that self-doubt of if seen so many movies is playing into whether it's real or not.
Well, as long as you don't start acting out on them, I think we're all okay.
I think we are too.
Yeah. As much as we want to fly like Superman, we can.
Yes. So. Plus, I'm 5 feet tall, so I don't think I'm going to be doing too much damage.
So I've been doing my research too. Obviously, I've been put a blog of everything, but I'm looking for a few things because I'm gonna start posting it in about 2 days. Just little teasers of what's gonna come up in the show and what clips I found. So I'll put kind of what clips they are and give a little description, but I'm not sure if I can put the actual clip up. Maybe a few, just because they're really funny and just one of those things that you can't help but laugh every time you watch them. So, but I found a lot of good ones from TV show Halloween episodes to some movies, some little bits and some admittedly a lot of them are the spoofs. So stupid they're funny, and there's a couple in there from scary movies, and there's one there from Leslie Nielsen's Dracula Dead and Loving It, which was always one of my favorites. So, and just the fact that, well, and just the fact that it was a Mel Brooks movie, right? So, and you expect that from him, and I love Mel Brooks, so I just I was pretty much sold on the movie right away before I saw I was in it. But so that's gonna be interesting coming up. Do you have anything else in the works right now? Anything that you want to talk about that we haven't covered yet?
Let's see. I just have obviously the Halloween list, which you already covered. I'm gonna repost that last week I finished the top 25 remaining movies of 2013 that are going by my recommendation, and I wrote a review of Paul Thomas Anderson's The Master, which I know came out last year, but they're showing that on Showtime right now, so I published a review of that. And there's going to be some more movie reviews coming out next week. Probably going to review a few horror movies, separate from the list to be in time for the Halloween episode that we're going to do, and a lot more music reviews next week. So stay tuned for that.
Right on. Is there anyone in particular you're looking forward to, or?
The Bedroom Hour. I'm hoping to get a review out for their EP themes, and let's see. There's a few other artists, and I'm just terrible when trying to. I literally have a list of everyone that I'm going to write next week. The Wild Young Hearts, and there's some other people there. And I'm sorry, my mind is completely blanking.
No, that's fine. No, that's how I was the past few weeks, so I completely understand. I couldn't remember a name for the life of me. You know, the guy with the hair and stuff. You know, like
Yeah, yeah, that guy.
yeah. So, the bedroom hour one should be interesting, and like I told you, I can email you the link, so you have to scroll through the entire list of episodes on the website, so I can give you the bedroom hour one. And I actually had a lot of fun with that one, not only because I interviewed Rob before, but I actually did a transcript of it. So pretty much, if you purchase the actual hard copy of the CD, it comes with a hard drive as well, and the hard drive it's got like a bunch of stuff on it, but also has my write up on the article, which is awesome. It's like it got published too, so it's like it was nice to see. But let me tell you, that took me forever to do because adding every little detail in, it was a lot more than I expected. It took a lot more time than I expected. It's like oh, it'll probably take me a few hours, and it took me about 6.5.
Oh wow.
Well, because they have all the typing, right? Because I got to stop, listen, stop, listen, stop, listen, and I like every little details in there because a lot of people, especially if they're reading a write up from a live interview that was done, usually from the past, from what I've done, what I've seen people do, like more like well, maybe not necessarily reputable writers, but people have been like write for like the Rolling Stones, Spin Magazine, the whole thing. They put a lot of the stuff in there. I was talking to so and so. In brackets, chuckled, blah, 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 and going on like that. So I threw a lot of stuff in because we talked about quite a bit. So it took a while, but it was worth it to see the end result.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, I can't wait to read it.
And that was so let me tell you, that was the first time I had like a tight deadline because I was talking with her manager via email, and she said, "This is what's going on. When you get ready," and I told her, "Don't take a few hours." Like, no, it's going to take me a lot longer. And she goes, "Well, we have till 10 o'clock tomorrow morning," and they're already 5 hours ahead. It's like, man, I gotta I gotta get moving on this. So,
Wow.
but it was worth, like I said, it was worth it, and it was a lot of fun doing it. I mean, it was one of those things. Why I always have a good time, anyways. But Rob and I always have a good laugh throughout the entire interview. So, but it was interesting. So I will email that to you. There are a few more bands that I'm gonna send your way that I think you'll like because if you like the Disco Navigators and the Bedroom Hour, then there's a few more bands that I know you'll like that have been debuted on the show before. And coming up to next week, there's going to be a few interesting things coming up in the rock world. I'm not going to discuss those yet because I want to save them for a few days because they're not really complete public knowledge. I just have my sources, so I'll put it that way. But
Wow.
but I'll be posting that. So the next thing I was thinking of getting into, since we've been covering up, I'm hoping by maybe not next week, but with the week after, we can find kind of maybe be in sync with Agents of Shield.
Yes, I hope so.
Well, if not, it's not a big deal. I mean, I know it's there's a lot. I mean, we're both very busy, and there's a lot of stuff to cover and a lot of stuff to watch and the whole deal. So it takes time, so I understand that. But interesting one to get into. Other than